So the Dallas Mavericks they just keep digging a hole for themselves, and it's getting dumber by the day. It is getting dumber by the day. So you know how Luka Doncic just torched the Mavs last night? And you might be saying, oh, he only had 19. He still had 11 assists and 15 boards. Genuinely. It's now a case where you've got some of the crap that they've been saying about Luka Doncic, and now you've got from the Lakers, sources close to Luka say a beast was awakened inside him. A beast was awakened inside him after leaks from the Mavs disparaging his weight and conditioning were released. And now you have got the Mavs coming out complaining. Obviously, they believe that Jaylen Brown was the reason the Mavs traded Luka and he got cooked in the finals, even though Luka Doncic literally sacrificed his body for that franchise. He sacrificed his knees for that franchise. He sacrificed everything. He sacrificed his long-term career. But now you've got the funniest. This is the funniest thing I've ever seen. According to The Athletic, the Dallas Mavericks had an issue with Luka. And by the way, this is not Luka binge drinking. This is not Luka addicted to hook. They said here, no mistake, people who witnessed Luka's last days not paint a flattering portrait of his professional. They call him lazy. They talk about the weight issues that were such a frequent frustration. They mention the social habits, such as a taste for beer and hookah, which have been a point of concern since he was 19-year-old star. Most of the NBA is, as Stephen A. Smith might say, on the damn weed. Almost all the NBA. What difference does it make? You're still smoking something into your lungs. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about? He's likes an occasional beer. So does most of the NBA. What are we talking about? So, highlighting a health history that some see will lead to catastrophe in the next 5 years. But yeah, you traded for a guy who's older than him, whose nickname's Street Clothes. This was nothing about this. It was nothing about all this. If you wanted a beacon of freaking health, if you wanted the damn picture of health, you go trade Luka Doncic for Mikal Bridges. But no, you can't say this while trading him for Street Clothes. Luka at halftime before dropping 19, 15, and 12. We knew the Mavs didn't get rid of him nothing. They watch him every year come back from summer. He got heavy with Dallas. Do people not realize that? Luka used to lose weight over the summer. It was their trainers. He couldn't stay, he got heavy there. They witnessed him show up out of shape. I'm sorry. You've got guys, this is the dumbest thing. It's you're oh yeah, he kind of shows up out of shape. Why? Because he'll never look like he's in shape. He's Eastern European. He's got said Eastern European build. There will never be a stage where Luka Doncic looks in shape and is still a good basketball player. And I mean that. Because he uses his weight. It's like Nikola Jokic. If Nikola Jokic had a six-pack, he'd be a worse basketball player. For someone of their build, if they get it, if they end up skinny with six-packs or anything visible, they will become worse at basketball because they use their size. And he's the type of build that he will be in elite shape while not looking like he's in elite shape. That's the Luka Doncic build. And by the way, where was the talk about this when Luka was carrying the team to the NBA Finals? Obviously, people talk about during the Finals because, Brian Windhorst, the picture of health himself, is talking about that. And it's Luka's not going to be. And I mean this, Luka's never going to look in shape. And the day Luka looks in shape is the day you will be scared for Luka. It's like Carmelo Anthony. Do you guys not remember late on in Melo's career when he started using his size more? And then he showed up that one season as skinny Carmelo. And he was never a high level, a superstar again. He was never a superstar again after Skinny Melo came out in that offseason. Players need to use their size. Conditioning is not about the way you look like. And the thing is that you can have these habits in the offseason. Jerry West did not pick up a basketball in the offseason. Most of these players, Michael Jordan smoked cigars and drank all offseason. He did that during the season. In the era that we talk so much about, these players were smoking and drinking before games. Luka Doncic is being called out for oh yeah, it's just people looking for excuses. It is literally just It is literally just them looking for excuses for trading the best player in their franchise history. They hated this man for being European. When is someone going to tell the franchise that he was drinking beer he was drinking beer the entire time he averaged 33, 10, and 9 and scored 73 and led us to the NBA Finals isn't the best PR strategy? Like, exactly. He averaged, it wasn't 30, it was like 33.9. It was like 34, 10, and 9 and had a 73-point game a year ago. A year ago. It was like a year and a month ago, 13 months ago, he had a 73-point game. A year ago, he carried the team on his back to an NBA Finals. And do you want to know what's the funny thing? He was heavier last year than he is right now. The Dallas Mavericks are upset. Imagine if after the 2020 Western Conference Finals, the Denver Nuggets traded Nikola Jokic because they were worried. They blamed him for losing to the Lakers, where they just were overmatched, and said, you know what, he's and just like said nonsense about him and traded him for a guy who was injured. Imagine trading. I don't know. Let me just think. Who was a 2020 All-Star? I just want to look at who a 2020 NBA All-Stars. So let's look at the 2020 All-Star game, and let's look at these players right here. So these are the 2020 All-Stars. Someone that was probably a similar age in 2020 as Nikola Jokic was. Nikola Jokic was not a 2020 All-Star, by the way. So Nikola Jokic, it's not... he was. But let's just say they want to trade... Who's older than Jokic? Not Kemba. Not Gobert. Not Middleton. AD's better than Middleton. There's actually nobody who in 2020... Kawhi. Yeah, Kawhi's perfect. It would literally be like in the year of 2020, the Denver Nuggets trading Nikola Jokic for Kawhi Leonard, who never had a fully healthy season again for the rest of his career. It would literally be like that. That is what the equivalent that they've done. And they just keep making excuses for why they made the dumbest trade in basketball history. The single dumbest trade. And for everyone saying, oh no, the Pau Gasol trade was dumber, they got Marc Gasol. They at least got Marc Gasol. At least in hindsight, you can argue that that's a good trade. And the only way this is not a dumb trade is not about Anthony Davis. It is whether or not, if Max Christie becomes the best player, the second best player in Dallas Mavericks history. Like, that's what it's going to take. It's going to take Max Christie becoming one of the best players in Mavs history for this trade to work out, because Anthony Davis has got about 3 more years left in him as a high-level NBA player. But anyway, yeah, I'll see you guys. This is just ridiculous.